You know Graybar for electrical parts, but there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better. Because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Graybar does that.
The latest episode of the Show Before the Show podcast, the official podcast of minor league baseball. Before we started recording, we were talking about people who have commented on like music shirts that we have worn. Sam is currently wearing a Tyler Childers shirt, and I asked him, I said, how do you pronounce the last name? Is that guy say Childers or Childers? And we believe it's Childers, but he was approached by somebody actually when he was in Denver commenting on his shirt, and then I told him a story of when I was approached by somebody in New York when I was wearing the shirt of a band I love called St. Paul and the Broken Bones, who I actually ran into the band at Denver International Airport once, and that was like the coolest thing ever. Ben, we didn't get a band t-shirt commentary story from you. Do you have a band t-shirt commentary story? Or do you have like I once ran into this musician randomly story?
Yeah, I've got quite a few stories of that nature. Trying to think of one. In high school, I wore band t-shirts in junior and senior year, 4 or 5 times a week, really. And for a time, one of the bands who I represented the most was a band called Therapy. Therapy with a question mark at the end of the name. That's part of the band name. Therapy? Yeah, they're from Ireland. One album in particular, Nurse, I just loved in my freshman year of high school, particularly. And one of the songs on Nurse is called Teeth Grinder. And I love that song, Teeth Grinder. And I had a Therapy Teeth Grinder shirt that it said the band name Therapy. And then below it, it just had this close up of like a mouth, like propped open, I guess, getting some dental work, maybe for teeth grinding. So it was really kind of gross and in your face, but very high school. And in the office earlier this week, we were kind of talking about just us, in when we were kids. I forget how it came up, or like old pictures of us and as we were teenagers. And I had that copy of that picture, which is my junior year of high school class photo. I have a shaved head and I'm just making this weird scowling face. And I have this shirt that says Therapy, and very teenage Ben. To say the least, but
the expression on your face looks like you are saying therapy ? To the camera.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Therapy.
As if somebody has just
introduced
the concept of therapy to you, and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, but that's basically how I felt. I also had another Therapy shirt, and I don't understand the connection here. It just had a gun over top a big red heart. And I didn't really know why it had a gun over top a heart, but that's a pretty heavy imagery. And I wore it once, like at dinner, and my mom was just like, what is that? And I was like, it's my new Therapy shirt. It rules. Therapy rules. And she's like, no, you're not wearing a shirt with this like gun on it. And she really put her foot down on that one. And
as she should.
And I look back on
I want it to be the official policy.
on it. There's some of those arguments that I look back on. I'm like, nah. My mom's also from a rock and roll generation. She should have understood. Like, we didn't even change genres. I was like, you boomers, like your kids also liked rock and roll, and music from the same genre was too difficult for you. Really? Like, you didn't even have to switch genres.
That's a fair point, actually.
So I have a little resentment about that, but also I see that shirt now, and of course now there's all this guns and teenagers and horrible things. But no, I shouldn't have been wearing a shirt with a gun on it. And Therapy, why did you just make a shirt with a gun on it in a heart? What did that even mean? I gotta get in touch.
Kind of an interesting
Kearns
visual brand of just like, yeah. That's
I feel like that was a top that you just pulled, Ben, and we were waiting for Ben to spin.
Yeah. I could go on and on and on.
You said band t-shirts? Well,
yeah.
Boy, let me tell you,
25 years ago on what belongs on t-shirts and what doesn't, and what our parents' influence on our rock fandom.
Yeah. We'll start a whole separate podcast.
Yeah,
right. I like that idea. All right, you dudes. Well, thanks for joining us, whoever you are, wherever you are, tuning in on this week's episode of the show before the show. You can get in touch with us, podcast at milb.com. And we got a lot coming up for you on this week's episode of the show before the show. And we're going to kick things off with a trip to Jacksonville, Florida. Not an actual physical trip, but Ben took a trip via the magic of the internet and recording an interview. Jacksonville's got a fun promo coming up that we're going to hear about, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about Jacksonville. But Ben, give us the lowdown on what's going on with the Jumbo Shrimp.
Well, I've been saying this for years. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, to me, consistently have the best promo schedule in all of minor league baseball because it's throwback in the sense of just anything goes, a bunch of really ridiculous ideas, this kind of, hey, why not minor league baseball mentality, which is unfortunately a little harder to find these days in terms of the total absurdity. So I try to celebrate it anywhere I can find it. So we're going to talk to David Ratz about one of their upcoming promos taking place on May 19th, Public Domain Night. So let's get right into it with David Ratz, promo director for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Here on the Show Before the Show podcast, we are joined by David Ratz, the promotions director for the Jacksonville. 3, 2, 1. Here on the Show Before the Show podcast, we are joined by David Ratz, the promotions director for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. I've been a fan, a celebrant of a lot of the Jumbo Shrimp promotions over the last couple of years, especially the ones under David's domain. And speaking of domain, there is one we want to talk about today. Definitely one of the more absurd themed jerseys you'll see this season. I'm already a fan. It's Public Domain Night in Jacksonville. So first of all, David, thank you for being here.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity.
And second of all, I'm really excited to go into Public Domain Night because let's just lay it out right up front. These theme jerseys you're wearing have Steamboat Willie on the front.
They do.
King Kong on the back.
Yes.
And both these images are overlaid atop Van Gogh's Starry Night.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Let's get into it. Tell me about the impetus for Public Domain Night and what these jerseys are all about.
For sure. I mean, anyone who's worked in minor league baseball knows, there's certain things you skirt around to try to be able to promote nights. Certain things you can and can't touch. And then, we noticed, Steamboat Willie in the news because it has become public domain with that version of Mickey Mouse. So it got us thinking of like, okay, let's do something along the lines of Public Domain Night. So did some more research, found King Kong is in the public domain, and then just, looking at some famous artwork, discovered that Starry Night was in fact in the public domain as well. And so presented that to them and said, okay, how about we take probably 3 of the most famous images we can find that are in the public domain, but that are easily recognizable, and we'll stick it on a jersey. We'll base a name behind promo night behind it and see what we can do.
Yeah, and I'm no trademark or copyright law expert, but the public domain means anyone has access to images and works of art after a certain amount of time. I believe it's 90 years.
Yeah, 90 something years. Yep.
Yeah, so that's I think a great law overall in terms of like returning art to the people after a certain amount of time. When you research this, you mentioned 3 big ones that are going to be on the jersey. Obviously, did you find other things that you thought, we could go this direction or that direction?
A lot of silent movie stuff, which, we've done a silent movie night in the past, which is cool. There's definitely some old, a lot of songs and stuff from, the 20s and before, a lot of black and white stuff. So, there's enough there for a small theme night. Mostly just kind of a shock value with the jersey was what we're going for. Just something different, and fun and dumb, and why not?
Yeah, that's
kind of our motto. Why not?
Absolutely, that's the great minor league baseball spirit, and I love that the Jumbo Shrimp are always tapped into that mentality. You mentioned a small theme night, maybe not one of the year's biggest blowouts, but what are other elements that you've been thinking of in terms of the night itself, how you can celebrate the public domain?
Loudly singing happy birthday to somebody during every inning, as that, was a big trademark versus public domain thing back in the day. And, honestly, still putting some finishing touches on some other things that we can do. And if it's, finding costume characters for King Kong or Steamboat Willie or something like that, just some of those things that are in the domain and kind of incorporating it more in the night, or even celebrating without mentioning names, things that'll be coming into the public domain soon.
Yeah, when it comes to a theme night like this, I mean, the relative weirdos such as myself get excited for the more absurd theme nights and jerseys, such as this one. But how do you sell it to the fans who might not really be as into such a high concept? I mean, I don't know if it's low art, high concept. It's high concept and low art, I suppose, all together at once, in terms of an image like this. But do you have concerns about like who's going to get this? How do we educate people? Or is it just one of those things like, hey, it's fun, and if you get it, you get it, and you go home just having had that much more of a good time because something so ridiculous happened?
That's exactly right. It's the latter. If you came out and you get it and you have fun, awesome. If not, we have 74 other theme nights on the promo calendar. Something is sure to get you going or get you excited. Yeah. I mean, any city that's as diverse and different, you got to try to mix it up. And so this one happens to be for some art aficionados and some old movie buffs, which would be awesome, but it may not work with your Gen Y, Gen Z, and that's okay. There's nights on the calendar that would work for them.
Yeah, and speaking of, this popped into my mind as we were talking. You mentioned silent movies. I mean, you are the one team I'm aware of who in the past has done silent movie nights, and I guess you were working with public domain with that concept as well.
Yeah, that was an interesting night. I think it's either 17 or 18, but the hard part about that is taking all your PA reads and turning them into computer slides, graphic like old silent movie cards. But yeah, that was a pretty fun night as well. I would suggest any team try that hasn't. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and what night do you have public domain night scheduled for on the calendar? Does it have a date?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
it does. It will be Sunday, May 19th.
Sunday.
Public domain night, Sunday.
May 19th. And the
Yep.
full promo schedule will be released next month in case.
Yeah, it'll probably be out when this airs, as it is dropping Monday morning. It will be released. Press release will come out Monday. So by the time you're hearing this, it's out there.
All right, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, written about it. I mean, I do think the Jumbo Shrimp have one of the best promo schedules in minor league baseball for sure, and you're the mastermind behind that. Do you have any sneak previews of stuff coming out this week, or is it all under wraps? Actually, no, it'll be out by the time this podcast comes on, so it's not under wraps. What else are you looking forward to on the 2024 promo calendar?
Yeah, I mean, there's some fun ones. Being in Florida and sometimes the political state that it is, band book nights is going to be one of my favorite nights, where it's not what you think. We'll be reading passages from our music band's favorite books on the video board. So we will celebrate band book night. We're having a snow day, snowball drop, where we'll have about 1,000 white beach balls that will throw off the sweet level during the 7th inning stretch, turn it into a nice snow day for snow related activities. We're going to have a ballpark rave. Quoth the rave, give me more. We'll have a ton of glow sticks and utilize our LED lights, where after every half inning for about 10 or 20 seconds and until the pitcher starts to warm up, we'll throw on the LEDs flashing and have some EDM going and basically turn the ballpark into a rave, which will be pretty cool. Let's see, what else am I looking forward to? Hip hop night, as if you've been paying attention lately, 50th anniversary of hip hop genre. So live DJ in the stadium, doing every player's at bat music, all the pregame music, the between inning games, and be doing the fireworks soundtrack live from the concourse or from the seating bowl, actually, which with the DJ is going to be pretty fun. Going with the weird and wild, we will have mystery egg roll night, where our food and beverage department is going to fry up God knows what in a ton of different egg rolls, and we're going to make people eat them because why not? One that will probably speak to you is this promo night goes to 11 as we do a Spinal Tap tribute without actually mentioning Spinal Tap. So edit that part out where I just said the word Spinal Tap. But that'll be a fun one. And then what else we got?
Are you building your Stonehenge for Spinal Tap?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I can have it lower from like the third level and all that fun stuff. And currently wrapping the zucchinis in tinfoil as we speak. So it'll be really good. And then ginger reveal night, where if you've always wanted to be a redhead but have been afraid, we'll dye your hair red during the game and bring you out on the field and reveal you to the crowd. We'll do a nice family friendly ginger reveal night.
Gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, to wrap up, I know one of the more memorable promos of last season was the salute to duct tape night, where you were duct taped to a concourse pole. Cut yourself down after a while because you weren't feeling too good physically.
Yeah.
Duct taped to that pole. Ended up wheeled out of the ballpark and denying medical care and an ambulance ride to the local hospital. The details to this day seem a little murky over exactly what happened, but do you see a return to that or some sort of duct tape redemption in your future?
I don't know. I mean, my wife would say you better not. There's no plans to suspend myself from any fixture in the ballpark this year, but the year is still young. So if something pops up that, maybe I'm descending with the tiny Stonehenge on that night. You never know.
Yeah, it's a dangerous job, but somebody's got to do it. In Jacksonville, that man is promotions director David Ratz, working on behalf of the Jumbo Shrimp and bringing the absurdity to minor league baseball fans in Jacksonville and to anyone else who's paying attention in terms of some of the weirdest promos in the game. And always worthy of celebration and always good to talk to you. So thanks for joining the Show Before the Show podcast.
My pleasure.
LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
The public domain jersey is like that's like if you were to throw that promo into year one of the Show Before the Show podcast would be right at home. Like that's a very classic, perfect kind of needling minor league baseball promo. I'm sure the Van Gogh folks they're pumped.
Yeah, it's celebrating.
One day, I bet that's what he was envisioning. He's like painting Starry Night. And he's like, you know what? Someday it's going to be on a minor league baseball jersey.
I could invent baseball now, so it would be on a baseball shirt. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait for somebody else to do it.
You'll let somebody else do that.
Yeah.
I'm very into this whole thing, though. This is fantastic.
Yeah, me as well. And I love the overall mentality they have. And, in that interview, David Ratz talked about some of their other promos that they're doing. Just a few more that I found as I was going through their recently released promo schedule. Just really ridiculous ideas. Like not a lot of info on this one, but April 18th, inopportune laugh track night.
I hope they don't do it on their own players. Like if their own player strikes out and it's just like, oh, sorry, we have to stick to the script that said.
Yeah, you got to be in good taste.
How inopportune is inopportune?
You can't have a guy crumpled in the batter's box after getting hit by a pitch and then some guy in the
use the
PA
same
booth,
laugh track that we use for Ghosts of the Miners every episode of Ghosts of the Miners.
Exactly, but I love the idea. There is a Spinal Tap tribute taking place on July 2nd.
Why isn't it on July 11th?
Good point. Maybe they're not home on July 11th.
Or 11th.
Yeah. And, more info to come, but it's presented On the promo schedule, they have presenting sponsors, even when they don't really have sponsors, but it's presented by a zucchini wrapped in foil. So I'm sure that will be a big part of that night. How about this on July 31st? I'm scrolling down. There it is. Shower beer night.
Okay. I
Here's the
just had a
write-up.
shower beer recently.
Right. I know I'm not the only one. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna say I did dry January, and then I got done with it was, I don't know, February 2nd or 3rd or something. I still hadn't had a drink. I went, I played hockey, I had a great day, and I came home and I said to my wife, I think I'm gonna have a shower beer. And she goes, I think you should do that. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great thing. So
great
this is a
invention.
promo dedicated to shower beers, and this is the write-up here with David Ratz, the promo director, presumably writing in the first person. I know I'm not the only one who's grabbed a cold brew and hopped in the shower after a hot afternoon of yard work. Let us reward your afternoon of yard work tonight. We'll pick some lucky fans and happily give them a beer if they're willing to drink it while getting sprayed by a hose.
I was like, are they going to have like shower, like the going down the rabbit hole of filming fans while they're showering?
No,
maybe it's more like the Orioles showers that they were doing last year.
I mean, I think they'll just keep your clothes on, just get a hose, but shower beer night. Random municipal water system giveaway night. Who among us hasn't sipped some intoxicating liquid from a mason jar at one point in their life? Well, you may not want to do that tonight as we celebrate Random Municipal Water System giveaway night. If you get here before we run out, you could be going home with a jar of good old government water. Okay.
If they run out of like drinks at the bar or something, like
I was thinking, do they like send away to different municipalities and be like, can you send us a bottle of your water? We're going to be getting
right. They're going all through Duval County, all the different municipalities. 3-inning triple header. Join us for the first and last triple header in Jumbo Shrimp history. We'll play 3 abbreviated games, each lasting 3 innings. The fun part is we won't tell the players.
We won't tell the players. We won't tell the Miami Marlins we're doing this. We won't tell the International League.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure that the International League is going to count those 3-inning segments as separate results. I'm not sure that's how it works.
I want the manager to have like an opener that day, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, only use 3 pitchers.
Yeah, just go like first 3 innings and try to credit him with a complete game.
There we go.
Yeah, and finally, we could go on and on, but this might have been done before, but I love it. But kids headshot drawing day. Ask your kids to draw our players and send it to us. We'll feature as many drawings as we can as the player headshots. And then please email your drawings to david@jackshrimp.com. So
that is pretty great.
I love that kind of thing.
That's a really good one. I like that.
For some reason, in the accompanying photo for that promo description is a Snoop Dogg next to a very poor drawing of Snoop Dogg.
Huh.
I mean,
would they let us do it? Like, I draw like a child.
I do too. I draw
terrible.
worse than most children.
Okay. I feel like we should do it and just send it in and be like, oh, this is from young Benny and Sammy and
Benny in Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Benny in Brooklyn drew this one. I think that would be a great idea. Just don't send it. Whatever we do, we can't send it from benjamin.hill@mlb.com. I think it'll tip us off.
No. But I could send one of my drawings next to one of Harry's, who's turning 3 on Saturday, and it'd be like, who did which one? Like, I'm that bad.
These are definitely my son's drawings. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a little sample, just a little sample for you of other things to look forward on the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp promo schedule.
That is pretty great. You can, of course, check out the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp promo schedule at milb.com/Jacksonville. And let's talk a little baseball. Sam Dykstra, you guys, throughout the offseason, you've been getting some cool visitors in the minor league baseball and major league baseball office scape. First off, do you guys just like swoop in? Victor Scott and Chandler Simpson were there. Do you guys just swoop in and be like, hey, you want to come see our row of seats? Michael Clare sits over here. You guys get to hang out with them?
I wish we did that. No,
they never send any of these players to my house to just see the show before the show studio. They never. There is a
Colorado Springs office.
There's a Boulder office as well. Apparently, I called tech support recently, and I was talking to a guy there, and he was like, "Oh, you're in Denver? I'm actually just up in Boulder." I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" But anyway, they never send anyone to hang out with us here, which just seems kind of lame, rude.
I mean, they send Major League Baseball players to Denver.
They do on a regular basis.
Yeah, that is a thing that happens.
Yeah,
you know where to find them
at my house. That's the thing.
But no, I mean, like there are people who come through here, whether it's on the minor league side, if they're playing in Brooklyn, if they're playing in Hudson Valley, if they're playing in Somerset, if you know they are members of one of those teams, sometimes they just kind of come through to get a tour of the MLB HQ, do some stuff with the social team, do some stuff with the content team. So some of the guys who came through recently were Victor Scott II and Chandler Simpson. Victor Scott, second place for the St. Louis Cardinals. Chandler Simpson plays for the Tampa Bay Rays. But both of those guys go a ways back. I mean, they both grew up in Atlanta. They were both draft picks in the 2022 season. They both played together in the North Woods League. And they talk about this in this story that I'm going to bring up here in a second. And they were tied together last year, quite literally, in terms of stolen bases. They both led the minor leagues in stolen bases with 94. We thought at one point that Victor Scott II actually finished the year with more stolen bases. One of those was taken away because it was a defensive indifference.
Yeah,
the whole thing,
a scoring change that turned that race into a tie.
I will say, if you watch the steal, it was not a steal. Like, he should not have been credited to begin with. It's unfortunate it went down that way, but it's fine. It's almost better that they tied. So these are two guys who know each other well, and Matt Monaghan did a story about them because they did come together to the MLB headquarters, and they talked about, we were talking almost daily, like we were checking in with each other. How's the season going for you? It was each of their first full seasons, but most importantly, they were saying, like, we wanted to see how the other guy was doing if he was going to pull ahead of me. Like, they are that competitive. They know how fast they are. When they played in the Northwoods League for the Fond du Lac,
Dock Spiders.
Dock Spiders.
Aren't they the Dock Spiders? Yeah.
Adjective. I know it was spiders, and I was like,
yeah,
Peter spiders, wooden spiders.
Same ownership group as Wisconsin Timber Rattlers.
There you go. When those guys played together, they were batting 1-2 in the lineup, and they are legitimately 80 grade speed guys. I mean, it's top of the scale speed. So one would get on, the other guy would bunt him over to second, but would also reach because he was too fast getting to first. Then they would double steal. Then all of a sudden you got runners at second and third. Like, it wasn't get him on, move him over. It was, he's going to move himself over. It's now my job to get on behind him. And that's just how their offense ran. So they came here to the office to talk about kind of the art of the stolen base and how competitive they are. And one thing that kind of perked my ear up in reading this story was, and I highly recommend reading it. It's on both MILB.com and MLB.com. Look up Victor Scott II, Chandler Simpson, Matt Monaghan, who wrote it. They said they both want to get to 100 stolen bases. And that seems fully within reach now, not just because of the athletes that they are, but they are incredible athletes. It's also about the rule changes. The fact that you can only throw over so many times. The fact that there are pitch clocks now. The guys have to get rid of the ball. You can't just, sit there wherever and try to throw off the timing of the runner. Stolen bases are up across baseball. We saw it last year with Ronald Acuna Jr., Esteury Ruiz, Corbin Carroll, Bobby Witt Jr. Like, a lot of these guys are pushing the envelope. So it feels like we're going to be in a spot now where 100 stolen bases is definitely within reach. Obviously, those guys were at 94. And I wonder how many we're going to get to this season. And just for you guys, kind of as people who cover the sport, but also just as fans, how important do you feel like stolen bases are? Like, is it more important to see somebody steal 100 bags next year than it is if we had a minor leaguer hit 40 home runs, for instance? Like, is that going to be the chase we're going to have now, is how many guys can get above that century mark? Yeah,
I mean, for me, you guys know current players a lot more in the game itself. But yeah, as a longtime fan, I came of age as a baseball fan in that era where guys were regularly stealing 100 bases, and it was a big part of the game. Speed, those Whitey Herzog Cardinals and all that. And so I think it is important that the game is trending in that direction. And I think it's fun and exciting as a fan because we've had multiple eras of explosive home run growth and not nearly as much in the realm of stolen bases. And, it was very exciting when, Billy Hamilton, just stole a ridiculous amount of stolen bases between Bakersfield and Pensacola. And what was that, 2012, I want to say?
Yeah, that sounds right.
But beyond that, there haven't been like just out of control stolen bases for quite some time. I actually had wanted to write a story about Donnell Nixon, Otis Nixon's brother, who stole 144 bases in the California League in 1983, the second most of all time in minor league baseball history and professional baseball history. But yet he ended that season as the second most of all time because in that same season, Vince Coleman stole 145. I mean, so to have go back in time to 1983, 145, Vince Coleman, Donnell Nixon, 144. That's something I hope to write about in more depth at some point, more historical exploration of that kind of thing. So, yes, long story short, for me, without having the greatest knowledge of the current speedsters who could do it, I love the game is trending in that direction. And I personally would be much more excited by someone stealing 100 bases than, guys getting into rarefied home run territory, unless it was truly rarefied.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking like 50, 60 homers again, that's one. Like Aaron Judge, what he did 2 years ago was obviously very exciting. But I'm talking purely in the minor leagues. Like, I don't think we're going to see somebody get 50 homers, but 100 steals feels within reach again. And how exciting that is. Tyler, what do you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Ben put it well. We've lived through now a couple of different eras where the home run has been king. I don't even know if you could really say that it's been different, distinct eras. It's just felt like for the last 30 years, home runs have been the thing. And I love home runs. I love watching dudes sock some dingers, as Mark McGuire said in that Simpsons episode. But it's I don't want to say like, it's played out watching home runs, but I do think watching different skill sets flourish is fun. And we have so much athleticism in the game of baseball right now. That's what's exciting to me, is that you watch somebody like Ronald Acuna Jr. or Julio Rodriguez or Mookie Betts or Mike Trout or whoever. And these guys do so many different things well. It's not just the era of the slugger, and being able to showcase all those different skills, I think, is a very good thing. That's where I come from with it. The ability to provide base runners with not necessarily an advantage or something that's undue for base runners, but to give them a little bit of an equalizer, a level playing field, or some incentive to gamble with stolen bases. Now, what I would really love is if somebody did break the Vince Coleman record or something. Are we gonna have like stolen base truthers who were like, but the 6 inches less, these guys had to go? I mean, like when Roger Maris broke Babe Ruth's original record, people were like, didn't do it in 154 games, doesn't count, you gotta asterisk it. So are we gonna have like weirdos coming out of the woodwork like, the bags are bigger, I don't know, these guys, it doesn't count, Vince Coleman's the one true stolen base king?
I'm sure we probably will, but all at the same time, I mean, how many times have the rules changed in baseball? The mound's been lowered.
Exactly.
Various things have happened throughout time. If somebody wants to make a stink, they're more than welcome to do that, and I am more than welcome to not join them in making that stink.
Yeah, that's a fun thing in sports. It's like you can have your arguments, you can have your thoughts.
But I like your point about it welcomes more people into baseball, because we were trending towards just getting guys with huge exit velocities.
Right.
That's the thing that matters. And maybe we're getting back towards a time where that's not necessarily the case anymore. I mean, even Victor Scott and Chandler Simpson, this is the kicker of that story, in Matt Modigan's story that, again, I implore everybody to look up. Hitting home runs, slugging percentage, it all still matters now, Scott said, but kind of having those different elements of, okay, when is this guy going to steal a base? How's he going to impact the game with his legs? It all means something to the both of us now. It's becoming prevalent in today's game. Now, Chandler Simpson says it's a good way for us to let the new generation of kids know that there are other ways to impact the game.
Yes.
You can play baseball and make it to the big leagues, not by just hitting the ball over the fence. You can get in scoring position. You can hit a single. You can steal second, and it's just like a double. Steal second and third, and it's just like a triple. We're trying to inspire and motivate. I love that message. It's a perfect message to end that story and just take into the game, like take into various parts of this country and the world, obviously. That, hey, you might be fast, and that might make you think you have to be a wide receiver in football or guard in basketball. There's skills that translate on the diamond too. You don't have to just hit the ball 400 feet. It'd be great if you could, and you'll have hitting coaches trying to teach you that at the same time. But listen, Aaron Judge would love to have 80 grade speed. He doesn't. Like, that's just not a thing that happens. These guys have something that is truly elite, and the fact that they are using it in the game is super exciting. And I'm excited to see what they do next. And maybe we'll have that race to 100 this year. I think Simpson is definitely a candidate. I will say Scott isn't, only because I think he's going to be in the majors.
Okay.
Somebody who reached AA last year. I could definitely see him in the majors by the All-Star break. So I don't think he's going to get 100 in the minor leagues. Lord knows he's going to try to get there by July, but I don't think it's going to happen. Two other names I'll throw out there: Justin Crawford, who, when Jonathan Mayo, our colleague, threw out a poll to execs, he was named the fastest player in the minors. I don't think he quite is, but he's a big name. He's a top 100 guy for us, and he stole close to 50 bags last year. Maybe he really pushes the envelope this season. And Enrique Bradfield Jr. of the Baltimore Orioles, super fast, super athletic, and now in a system that they've had some fast guys in the past. They haven't had somebody like him. So I think they would love to see what they can do with him and how quickly he can push to try to join Baltimore with his legs.
Fantastic stuff. Again, as Sam noted, you can read those stories, or that story, I should say, from Matt Monaghan at MLB.com and MILB.com. And coming up, we're going to stop by Ghosts of the Minors with our friend Josh Jackson, and you too may hear a story about a guy who at least sounds very fast. I don't know what his speed grade would have been on the scouting scale, but Ghosts of the Minors is coming up, and then we're back to wrap up the show next.
Interrupt this podcast to bring you another thrilling edition of Ghosts of the Minors. Now, here's your correspondent and host, Joshua Jackson.
Welcome back to Ghosts of the Minors, in which all of you out there in Radioland must identify the legitimate historical ball club or player hiding amidst the fraudulent pair. One played for years and briefly touched the big leagues. The others played only in fantasy leagues. In the last segment, I asked you which of the following minor league baseball players did at one time exist. A. Flame Merit. B. Ash Honor. C. Smoke Justice. You've blazed to the truth fair and square if you picked C. Smoke Justice. You may have supposed that a player nicknamed Smoke was a pitcher. Well, where there was smoke, there was fire. Justice once tossed 4 no-hitters in a single minor league season. The son of southeastern Indiana, given name Walter Newton Justice, made his professional debut with the American Association's Kansas City Blues of 1905 and didn't hang up the spikes until the end of the 1913 season. The flame-throwing Smoke dispensed fastballs on the amateur circuit throughout his teenage years and into his early 20s, marrying a fellow Indianan named Minnie Gross in Covington, Kentucky in 1903 and fathering a daughter in January of 2005. That spring, Smoke needed to start bringing home the bacon and left for the Blues camp in Georgia. It doesn't do justice to say Justice fared well, for the 21-year-old was signed by and pitched 2 games for the Detroit Tigers that very summer. Alas, that early in his pro career, Smoke's stuff did not stack up well in the American League, as he walked 6 of the 20 batters he faced and allowed 3 earned runs in fewer than 4 innings. But he spent the next 4 seasons gaining experience and piling up W's with the Lancaster Lanks in the Ohio-Pennsylvania League and the Ohio State League. It was with the Lanks that Smoke burned his way into baseball history. On the last day of the 1908 Ohio State League season, in the opening game of a doubleheader, he took the hill against the Marion Diggers. Justice may or may not have been blind to the fact that Marion was one of just 2 opposing teams in the 16 circuit he had yet to no-hit that year. But he was a vision of excellence at start, taking a perfect game into the 9th when he walked a batter with 2 outs, then finishing a no-no by retiring the next Diggers batsman. That remarkable performance came just 4 days after his previous no-hitter. Yes, Justice was poetic in September of 1908. But earlier that same year, Justice had apparently suffered an attack that may have been an epileptic fit, and there are reports of him battling through mental health and nervous system issues throughout his career. In 1906, he reportedly was detained by police after sleepwalking through town in the middle of the night with 2 live chickens in his hands. And in reporting a brawl between the Lanks and the Diggers in May of 1908, the Marion Daily Mirror cited rumors that Justice had been twice institutionalized. But whatever travesties Justice faced, he continued to pitch well enough over the next few years to earn another shot at the majors, kind of, in 1913 when the Federal League tried to gain footing as an equal and a competitor to the American League and the National League. He spent most of that year with the franchise that started the season as the Covington Blue Sox. And to this day, you can visit a bourbon and smoked meat joint in Covington called Smoke Justice. And that's how smoke lingers. Now, on to the question for next time. Which of these teams authored its destiny in the minors of yesteryear? A, the Hemingway Cubs. B, the Fitzgerald A's. C, the Choiceville Pirates. Want to know the answer? Read a book. Or tune in to the next Ghost of the Minors. But for now, you'll have to excuse me. My producer Ben Hill is making an ice cream float, and I've got to torpedo it.
I really need to buy a smoker. Smoke Justice. But I really do need to buy a smoker. Like, I'm turning into one of those like late 30s guys who's like, I want to try making some pulled pork, some brisket, whatever. And maybe if I get one, I will name it Smoke Justice. Justis, by the way, for Smoke Justice.
I like how you went that way. You trended towards barbecue, while I went towards like, this sounds like the alter ego of the Marlboro Man.
Ooh, he like puts on a mask at night. He's like, now I'm Smoke Justice.
Yeah, but like
breaking
in
up
the 60s
crimes
and
on the
70s when we
frontier.
were trying to make that cool. Like, don't smoke, kids. I'm not trying to say you should put on a mask and go out and smoke cigarettes and fight crime.
Yeah.
But it just seems like something that Big Tobacco would have forced
would have done
decades
Smoke
ago.
Justice, the alternate identity.
Yeah, it sounds like the name of one of the new bodegas opening up in New York City
Also
on nearly every block.
I've seen that we got 3 ways of attacking this.
That is true. That is true. All right, you dudes, before we get out of here, it's quiz time. This is one of my favorite new elements of the Show Before the Show podcast. Ben stumping me and Sam on a now weekly basis. All right, Ben, what do we got this week?
Yeah, this isn't a full-blown quiz. It's just a guess the player. I came across this guy's minor league stats. He's a known player, not a superstar, but a guy who I think a name you recognize. And one thing led to another. I was looking at his minor league stats, and I was like, man, this dude, in addition to playing in the majors, played a lot in the minors. He appeared in parts of 11 seasons in the major leagues, 960 games. Parts of 9 seasons in the minors, 961 games. So very even breakdown between major and minor career. He hit 181 major league home runs and 239 minor league home runs.
There's a plus 400 home run guy in Pro Bowl.
Yeah, so 420 professional home runs.
Speaking of smoke shops in Middle Manhattan.
Speaking of Smoke Justice. His career began in 1978. It ended in 1993. The minor league teams he played for: West Haven in the Florida State League in 1978, or in the Eastern League.
Yeah, I was going to say West Haven.
Yeah, in the Eastern League in 1978. Fort Lauderdale in the Florida State League in 1978 and 79. Nashville when it was a Southern League team in 1980. Columbus in 1981. Parts of 82 and 83. And then was in the major leagues all the way through the back portion of 83 all the way through 90, and then finished with 3 seasons in Oklahoma City, 1991, 92, 93, including 36 home runs and 108 RBIs in Oklahoma City when they were then known as the Niners in the American Association, AAA, in 1993 at the age of 36. Got one final call up to the major leagues in 1993, that same 1993 season that was his final season, after 3 years away from the majors, where he played in 2 games for the Texas Rangers, got 3 singles. So he went out in a blaze of glory with 600 average in his final season, 3 for 5. Any ideas?
No.
The minor league organization he played for at first, and then made his major league debut with the New York Yankees.
Well, yeah, Columbus made me think of that. So that initially got me thinking like Don Mattingly, but
then he played.
I don't think Don
Mattingly did not play that long in the minors. Then he never played for a minor league team in this system, but spent, and this is maybe where you can get it, parts of 5 seasons with the Kansas City Royals. A cameo in Seattle, back to the Yankees.
Like Greg Nettles or something.
And then 3 seasons in the Texas organization, almost entirely with Oklahoma City. But in that major league career, the bulk of which was 83 through 1990, he had 181 home runs. Most of those home runs with the Royals and the Yankees.
I'm trying to think of like a 1980s Royals player who I, did not get a chance to see much in real life.
Yeah.
This is like literally before Sam's time, because Sam was born in 1998 or whatever.
Career high 36 home runs for the Royals in 1985. Played in 160 games, 36 home runs, 88 RBIs.
I'm trying to think of like somebody who was in the news recently that would make you look them up.
Nope, he was not in the news.
Okay.
His nickname was Bye Bye, then his last name.
Oh, I think that got it for me. Was it Steve Balboni?
Correct.
Bye bye Balboni.
Yeah.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep. Had I not gotten the nickname, I don't think I would have. I was like, well, I know it's not Frank White. I know it's not George Brett, who was on those 80s Royals teams.
Imagine George Brett being sent back to Oklahoma City
and getting 3 singles in 1993 with the
Well,
Texas
that's what brought him
Rangers.
to my attention.
Yeah,
Like,
interesting.
last month I did a little story on like AAA heroes, and someone brought up Balboni. They're like, the Oklahoma City had like a night in his honor in 1993. So he only spent 3 seasons there, but he's 34, 35, 36 years old, already has close to 200 major league home runs. And he hit 86 home runs over those seasons with Oklahoma City. 180 RBIs in his age 36 season in AAA. Those are the kind of guys I always rooted for. And as I said, did get that final call up where he played in 3 games, and that was it for bye-bye Balboni. But
it is kind of crazy too, how like we don't really see those players in baseball anymore. Like you don't look into AAA clubhouses these days and see 35, 36, 37-year-olds. Like it just, unless they're there on rehab assignments. That's just not the way the game of baseball has evolved. So those are kind of cool stories to look back on, like the Crash Davises of the world.
Yeah, you don't see that as much anymore. Another guy interesting along those lines is Dave Kingman had 442 home runs after the 1986 season, and then couldn't get a job in 87. And he was playing for Phoenix, I think the Phoenix Firebirds.
Yeah.
And was putting up huge power numbers in his late 30s for them, trying to get back in the majors and get back towards 500 home runs. And I think he definitely felt there was a bit of a conspiracy against him. I don't know the specifics, but yeah, Dave Kingman did that too, slugging in the minor leagues and never getting that final chance. Dave Kingman had the distinction for a lot of years of being the player with the most home runs who was not in the Hall of Fame. That's gone by the wayside, obviously, especially with guys who have asterisks and whatnot. Yeah. But there was a number of years there, throughout the 90s into the 2000s where he had that distinction of 442 home runs and couldn't even sniff the Hall of Fame and didn't get that final chance.
Also a 3-time draftee, Dave Kingman in the second round in 1967, then 9th overall in 1968, and 1st overall in 1970. Not a bad way to bump your draft stock.
Yeah, I was obsessed with this. The reason I remembered off the top of my head he had 442 home runs is because I was obsessed with this baseball card as a little kid. There was one year where he played for a team in every division, back when there were 4 divisions, in one season. If you have his stats up now, Tyler, I think it's 1977, I want to say.
It would have been, 1977. He played 58 games with the Mets, 56 games with the Padres, 10 games with the Angels, and 8 games with the Yankees in 1977. Yeah. How wild.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that one thing that makes me think of like why we don't see so many of these guys, like 35-year-olds who are just with a team for an entire, I wonder how much like opt-outs affect this, because you see so many minor league deals where it's like, hey, if I'm not on with the major league club by May 15th or something, I can opt out and I can go find my own opportunity. It's not like, hey, so you used to sign those deals and then be like, hey, somebody come trade for me. I'm tearing it up. And it's like, I don't want to give up an asset for a 37-year-old. Like, that's just not something teams want to do now. If it's hey, I'm going to opt out and I'll go find my own opportunity, or I'll stay around. I remember covering this, and this is way back now, but Kevin Millwood signed with the Red Sox once, and everybody's like, oh, this like guy who used to pitch alongside Maddox and Smoltz and Glavine is now signing with the Red Sox on minor league deal. And I went up to him. He's like, yeah, I have an opt out in May. Like, if it doesn't work, I'll go find it. And he did. And it's just the way, and like the game is trended that way now. If there's a guy who signs a minor league deal with an invite to spring training and it doesn't work out, he's not looking to be in the minors for long. So,
right.
And plus like the opportunities that are available, the amount of people that are going to Japan and Korea.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
I mean, not that that wasn't an option back then, but I think that's more prevalent now.
Yeah.
That
How
if
many
you're a-
quad A players?
Yeah, that if you're a
Right.
modern day Steve Balboni and you're like, well, I could hit 36 home runs in AAA at age 36, or I could maybe make a relatively quick $1 million or whatever to go to Japan or Korea.
And be a
Right.
fan favorite over there.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
if you're really good over there, they'll love you, and that'll be your career. Like that is
Yeah.
totally fine.
You can make a very nice living doing that.
We
Um,
want as many people making it through the minor leagues as possible. This is a
Yeah.
minor league baseball podcast, but
Right.
like there are so many opportunities for baseball worldwide now.
If anybody
who
wants
knows what
to,
next, it's Japan
Right.
and Korea now. Maybe another one will come up in a few years.
if anybody wants to hand me such a deal, I recently tried out for a 35 and over league in Denver. If anybody wants to give me any of that, I'll gladly move abroad. My wife would be into that. As long as you'll take our dogs, we'll be cool. But if
Have
anybody
you talked
needs,
this
like,
over with her, or are you just speaking on?
I'm just speaking on her behalf. I think that's how good marriages work, right?
her?
Right.
100%.
All right, you dudes. Well, we will wrap up for this week's episode of the show before the show. A huge thanks to the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp as the 2024 season gets closer and closer. And a big thanks to Josh Jackson, of course, for stopping by, and to Smoke Justice as well, the name of my future smoker. For Benjamin Hill, Sam Dykstra, Josh Jackson, and all the rest, my name is Tyler Maughan. We'll catch you next week.